And there I am, again, FC.Liverpool, and it's Frank and the podcast, and we getting guests who I have on every week. And I've got Marios coming on later on because I've got the Shankly boy on. The Shankly boy, the lost Shankly boy, who was found, as someone said, by Frank Carlyle. It's crazy, isn't it? I've come to fame by finding George Scott, the lost Shankly boy. And I've got the vase of flowers on as well. I've got the vase on, and I've got to give him an apology, actually. But anyway, I'll tell him that in a moment. So I'm going to bring George on. And there's the great man. There's the lost Shankly boy himself. Hiya, George.
Hiya, Hiya, Frank. How you doing? All right?
Oh, I'm good. And there's the vase.
Hiya, everyone.
Hiya, Lee.
Hiya, Lee.
Good to see you.
Do you know what, Lee? I have an apology. I had to go somewhere on Saturday. I watched the game, but I had to go somewhere. And I'm sorry I couldn't get hold of you. I would have loved you to have been here with me, but it was too late by the time I got back. So next time we'll have a... I even got a couple of beers in for you, believe it or not. That's it.
Awful.
Yeah. Very Peroni. I got your Peroni. I only bring Peroni and keep the Italian, keep the Azori up, So that's what I'm going to say. For you. But when you come down any time, you can just, you can take them with you or drink them on the premises, no problem. Welcome everybody to Frankie Boy's World, says Redbird. Great him, isn't he? It's great. And he says, Mr. Scott nearly said, "Hiya, Shanks." Oh.
You're right, son.
Isn't that great? And Redbird again says, "Evening, Lee of the Flowers." Lee of the Flowers.
Evening, Redbird.
So, like flowers grow in leaves, don't they? A nice little lane instead of a valley or a dale, or there are leaves. So, I think that's what he meant.
They're beautiful, aren't they, flowers? But they have a shelf life, and I was considering my own mortality when I chose that name a couple of years ago. I mean, I was 50 a couple of months ago. So, do you know what I mean? When a man gets to about 45, it's that sort of time when he thinks those sort of thoughts, like, you know what I mean?
He's only a youngster to us, George, isn't he?
He's only a youngster. He's only a boy. He's in his prime.
Do you know what it was? I Stephen Smith and Scott Carlson and Carlyle. Scott Carlson and Carlyle sounds like a firm of barristers. Evening, one and all.
Wouldn't mind being a barrister, Frank.
My grandson's a solicitor.
Well, my son's a lawyer. My son's a lawyer.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, my son, yeah. Yeah, he's a CEO.
I don't talk to him about corruption or anything.
No, he's way above that, Frank.
Oh, no.
He's an Evertonian, so don't mention him too much.
Oh, no. Do you know what I was watching today? Before we go, about the game against Brentford, it was a cracking little thing. I was on YouTube, and it said very similar goals, and it went back to the likes of Sturridge, and similar goals that they scored. Like say Sturridge and say Mo Salah scored a goal, if you know what I mean, like Mo Salah.
Yeah.
Torres was there, Suarez was there. And do you know what? Some of the goals, but do you know who appeared most? Who do you think out of, these strikers and whatever, who do you think appeared most, goals similar to other players scoring?
Yeah.
Who do you think?
Who?
Who do you think appeared most? You know, on this little clip, about 10 minutes or 15 minutes clip it was, showing goals. Even Robbie Fowler was there as well. So who do you think appeared, you know, up to the present day, by the way. So who do you think appeared most?
You're talking about present day player or an older player?
Yeah, present day players as well.
Present day. Not Torres, no?
No.
Suarez.
Suarez was there. You know, you see
Suarez.
him. Do you know who it was?
Go on.
Who do you say, Lee? Who do you think would be their top?
I couldn't even say. I haven't got a guess. I'm sorry.
Say, like, I don't know whether I'm explaining right. It came on and it said, you know, goals scored very similar to, say like Fernando Torres, for example, scoring. Do you ever remember that goal he scored?
So it could show you like Mohamed Salah scoring with his left foot, and then Ray Kennedy with the left foot as well, being similar.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah,
you see what I mean? So who do you think appeared most?
Well, what about Sturridge?
No, it wasn't Sturridge. Albeit, and it wasn't even Fowler. Come on, you must know.
But Kenny?
No, it wasn't Kenny. No.
Rushy?
These are like, who?
Not Ian Rush?
No, not even Ian Rush. These goals are scored very, say like me, and I scored a cracker, you know.
Gerard.
Say like, excuse me. I scored a cracker, right? Brought it down on my chest, tied it, and volleyed it in at the edge of an area, the 18-yard box, at an angle. Well, that would be very similar to Fernando
Steve Gerrard.
Gerrard. No.
Stevie G.
Stevie was in there. Yeah, Stevie was in there.
Terry McDermott?
No. And it comes right up to date, you know, present day, now. Yeah, they're all there. They're all having a go here. They're all having a go. Hang on. Okay, Redbird says this is a Liverpool player. Yes. These are Liverpool players scoring very similar goals. Very similar goals. As I said, you know, I can't explain. Say like Luis Suarez, for example, scoring, you know, when he ran with the ball. And he just cut everybody out against Everton. Remember that? Well, the same happened with Mo Salah. He ran with the ball. Remember when he robbed the ball and he just ran? Put Suarez in them. So they were very similar goals, and they were against Everton. But it could mean any team, by the way, not just them.
Well, somebody's played in the last few years, Frank. Somebody's played in the last few years.
Yeah, you know, going back, I've just mentioned, well, you mentioned Rush, you mentioned Fernando Torres, I mentioned Fowler. Yeah. You see what I mean? So, yeah, you know, from them right up to the present.
McManaman.
No, not Mac. This fella appeared most scoring goals, very similar to others. Okay, is it a Liverpool player? Yeah.
Steve Nicol.
Ronnie Whelan.
Brian Headley, Owen, Redbird, Darwin, Stephen Snape, Aman. And
Jota.
He said Jota, Redbird, but here's the man.
Moby.
He got it. And you're going to kick your bloody self. You're going to kick yourself. Who appeared most, scoring goals, and they were very similar to others.
Go on, Frank, you need to tell us.
I'm not going to tell you. It's Stephen Snape.
So it was Mo, yeah?
Yeah, Mo. He scored 200 goals for us.
Yeah.
I thought it was somebody copying Mo. I didn't realise, didn't understand that, right?
No. Wasn't copying him.
Yeah, he has scored lots of goals like that with the left foot, curling them in the corner, yeah.
Redbird says Jota, Mane says Redbird, and Mo says Neil Broderick. That's who scored. You know, when you watch this clip, and even you even see, do you know when Steven Gerrard scored against Olympiacos?
Yeah.
And he showed another player like more or less the same. And I couldn't believe it. And I went, you what? And it was Jordan Henderson scoring a very similar goal that Stevie G scored against Olympiacos. And
I remember that Henderson one, where it curled out. Yeah,
that's
like
right.
Gerrard's. Yeah, I remember that one. It wasn't quite as good as Gerrard's, but it was very similar. Very similar in look, wasn't it?
And there was another one where Steven Gerrard gave an unbelievable pass. I have to forget who to. An unbelievable, and he just went. I think it was to Sturridge. It was a fantastic pass, and it was Sturridge, and he went on to score.
That was a Fulham.
Yeah, that's it. And I went. And then the similar goal was Jordan Henderson, and a very similar pass to Mo Salah when he ran on, to score the 5th against Man U.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant clip. I went, that's great. I'm going to talk about that tonight. But anyway, that was it. And Brian Edley says, Ian and lads was going to say Eric do you remember that?
Eric Meyer.
Good evening, boys. Good evening, boys. Says Charlie Wood.
Yeah, Charlie.
Mo's evolving into the all-round attacking player. Darwin's benefiting from Salah's evolution. I agree there. I think they're all there. I think everyone is.
Unbelievable.
The way you said it, Frank, you made it sound like it wasn't Mo, you cheat. I thought of Mo straight away. Says that bit.
Yeah. I did, but I thought you were asking us to copy him. I didn't get it right.
I did say Mo. The first thing I said was about comparing Mo and Ray Kennedy as left-footed forwards. More similar. So at least I got half of it right there. It was Mo.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about somebody similar to Mo.
I'm not doing these anymore.
You got it all going, Frank.
And no, it was a good exercise to try and think what players they were talking about, like.
But you'll get it on YouTube somewhere along the line, because it's fun. You'll be made up with it. And Mo Salah scored very similar goals to each other. It's had Mo Salah, scored, and then Mo Salah again, against another team. And who do you think he scored? And these, I hope you get these. I really hope you get these. This is not a quiz night, by the way. But I hope you get these, lads. Think about Mo Salah scoring, I'd say 3 of these goals, 3. But they only showed 2 very, very similar.
He scored a few in the Anfield Road end like that.
Yeah, but this doesn't have to be at Anfield. Could be away as well.
What about Watford?
Yes.
Yep.
And
unbelievable goal.
And who else? Who else did he save? Very similar.
Away to City?
Yeah. City.
Yeah.
Very similar. But I'd have brought Tottenham into that equation. But they were only having 2. They're only having 2 similar goals, Absolutely brilliant. As Anne says, good evening, Frank, Lee, and George.
Is that yes? He scored a goal. He scored a goal or an assist in 15 consecutive home games. It's unbelievable.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Well, they broke a record, haven't they, when they beat Brentford? 9 consecutive home games winning. That's great, that.
Yeah. Yeah.
40 odd years. I think the last the record was broken from 1980. Put it that way.
We've only lost one game in the league, and we shouldn't have lost that one. That was the Spurs.
No. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're so right. I had black hair then, George.
Yeah.
Brian Everly, I remember Torres' goal against Newcastle from Stevie G. Almost Pele-like the way he sold the cup. Yes. Yeah, he just let it go. He let it run, didn't he? And it was Pele-like because Pele did it in the World Cup, didn't he? Years before. You're so right there, Brian. Brian McMahon. Good evening, Frank, Lee, and George. Good evening, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Nunes is the new Suarez. Evening, chap, says Neil Brother. Yeah. And when you mentioned Ray Kennedy there, Ray Kennedy, what a player, says Anne.
Yeah.
And you're so right, Anne.
He was a striker, wasn't he? And they converted him into midfield.
Yeah. Bob Paisley said, didn't he? Bob Paisley said Ray Kennedy was the one that he had most inquiries for, and especially from foreign teams. There was a lot of teams interested in Ray Kennedy. He said more than any other player that he's ever had.
Yeah, he was a striker at Arsenal, and then Bob converted him into a midfield player, brilliantly midfield player.
Did he play against us in the 1970 Cup final?
He may have done. I can't remember. He may have done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony says, Frankie, Georgie, and Lee, and loads of pints there.
Hi, Tony. Come on.
That's the man who brings me these mince pies every year. They're that big, you can put custard on them, if you know what I mean, and have them. the biggest ever. Anyway, let's go through these and we'll get on with what we're going to talk about, lads. Listen, boys and girls, I want you to comment. And before I go to George and before I go to Lee, I'm going to ask this question. Then when I ask the question, I'm going to excuse me. When I ask the question, I'm going to go down these comments, so I'll bring them in. But then I'm going straight over to George. Okay, after I finish these comments. But here's the question, and I want you to comment as well. Konate, is this lad injury prone or what? And before I go to you, George, I'm going to read these out in you, Lee. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Remember Paul Walsh scored in 10 successive games, then broke his leg, says Neil Brother. Evening panel and chat, says LFC Aaron. Hiya LFC. Hiya Aaron. I think Gakpo is an intelligent player with a football brain. He is potentially going to play different roles for us. That's a good point, that actually. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he's already playing different roles. Shank's last signing was Kennedy, says Aaron.
Correct.
And was it Rob Jones against West Ham, says Arthur? No, it wasn't. No. You're right there because, I'm sorry, Arthur, because everybody thought, even I thought, that it was Paisley's first sign, and it wasn't. No. It wasn't at all.
Phil Neal was Paisley's first signing.
Sorry?
Phil Neal was Paisley's first signing.
Yeah, but I always thought it was because he was appointed. Shankly left. He was appointed, and the other fella came, didn't he?
Keegan left, and then he signed Dalglish.
Yeah. But I was sick when Keegan left. And I thought, who's going to replace him?
Yeah, I know. And the king came along.
The king came along, took over the prince. The prince left, and the king came. I'm still waiting to come on, says Gerald Merry. Gerald, I'm sorry, mate. You know, last week, we got to make another. I will have you on. Got to make another time, unfortunately. If that's okay. I'm for evening, Frank, Lee, and George, and all those pints and all those chins. You'd be made up for him. I'm for
I've just counted then. That's a lot, that.
Too many for me.
Too many for me as well. Oh, this is great. Anyway, well, they're not talking to one another there. Barry Mason says, George is a spitting image of Gus D'Amato, Mike Tyson's ex-trainer in the 80s.
Yeah, he's a good-looking lad, Gus D'Amato, isn't he?
Good Italian fella.
Hard as nail.
George didn't Ray win the double with Arsenal. Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah, beat us in the finals, didn't he? Beat us.
What a player.
Down there. Charlie George.
Yes, flat on his back.
On the floor, like.
Killer.
When Stevie Highway scores, I thought we'd won that. But Tommy Schmidt, it was a terrible defensive. Tommy Schmidt, he tried to bring the ball out and it got mixed up with between his feet. And that George Graham just ghosted it and hit it. Yeah. Go. Instead of just clearing it. Never forget that.
Yeah.
Never forget that. Right, I'm just going to go to these and then right back to you, George. George, what was the great man Bill Shankly like in the changing room when we lost? Talk about that later, George. I won't forget.
Yeah. Well, we never lost.
Question for the panel, and we go back to this as well. So, off Aaron, LFC Aaron. Should 12:30 games be banned after international break? That's a very good question.
Yeah.
That's a very good question.
Television, money.
Yeah, there is. Hang on a minute. I've got another question there. Hang on. Oh, no, I don't know where it was. I'm sure. I'm sorry, lads. Oh, yeah. What's with the questions, Frank? Are you after Bradley Welch's job? I just thought it was it's not, I'm sorry about this. But I think that's a cracking thing. And as I said about Konate, now let's see. Konate is a very good player, but he has a habit of what? Pushing on the backs of his opponent and going for a tackle when he just needs to stand up and smother the player. He's marking. I agree there. And he does. But I tell you who else was doing that against Brentford was Endo. He was smothering. He was, getting stuck into the backs of them and, trying to smother them, but he was fouling them at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Right, since Klopp took the reins, the City game will be our 15th 12:30 kickoff, next being Spurs at 6. And they say there is no agenda against Liverpool, says Redbit. Right, George, Konate. Now, he was left out on Sunday, but he wasn't dropped or anything. He was injured.
Yeah.
What's your take? Do you think he's injury prone?
Well, he's had quite a few injuries, Frank, hasn't he? And he has had quite a few injuries. He's a big lad, I mean, I don't understand why he gets these injuries, to be honest. He's pretty mobile and he's fast and he's big and he's strong. And he should be. I mean, you don't see Van Dijk getting injured so much. I know he got that terrible injury from Pickford. But this season, he seems to be sailing through games and almost back to his best, I think. But Konate is a bit up and down. When he's good, he's very good, but he's prone to the odd mistake. You know, maybe as you say, maybe foul somebody in the edge of the box or miss time a tackle, or you know, he needs to be a bit sort of tighter. But I don't know if he's injury prone. He's not as bad as some of the people on the squad at the moment, like Thiago and others. He's missing games, but not lengthy. He's not out for lengthy spells, is he? I don't think.
But he does have a few lengthy spells, you know. The thing is, as well, is he's never had he's never played a full season without being injured. Like,
That's
not
true.
once or twice, but a few times.
That's true, Frank. Yeah.
You know, that's what's your take on it, Lee? What's your take? Do you think that Konaté is injury prone?
Well, this is the second time he's been injured this season already. He was out for a few weeks, wasn't he, early in the season, if you remember? And now he's out for another couple of weeks now. For a 24-year-old, it's not so good, because you think, like, when they're a bit younger, they have them growing injuries, like what we're hearing about Bajcetic and what Gerrard had and what a lot of young players get. But with Konaté, he's 24 and he keeps getting these muscle strains, doesn't he? He keeps getting hammies and tendon strains. Even when he does play, he doesn't play his best very often. Usually he's about like 70%, isn't he? Sometimes he's 80%, and a few games I've seen him closer to 100%, but not often. I don't think he's settled as quickly as he should have, Konaté. I thought he should have, seen as how he's been here 2 and nearly a half seasons now, I think he should have settled better by now.
Well settled. I totally agree with you.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
You wonder whether something's happening in training. You don't know whether the training, he's quite muscular, isn't he? He's quite well built.
Yeah.
You don't know whether he's, you know, these muscles, he's maybe a bit too well built, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I look at it like this. If the training is that hard, if it's hard, you've got to leave off a little. And what they're getting blamed for, you know, what his injuries are getting blamed for, which I think is ridiculous, is covering for Trent when Trent's upfield. So he has to sprint, because he is very quick, he's very pacey. And that's the beauty of Konaté. He's very, very pacey. And
the thing is, Frank, at the moment, Frank, really, they don't need to train very much. When in my day, Bobby Paisley and Bill Shankly, this time of the season, we would just play 5-a-sides, gentle jogging, because you're playing 2 games a week. You know, you're playing, your body's fit. All your hard training is pre-season to get fit. Once you're fit, you maintain your fitness by, you know, steady as it goes. And maybe they're just being pushed a little bit too hard. And, you know, they're playing a lot of games at the moment, aren't they? You know, especially with the Europa League.
Yeah, but we've been used to this, though, George. We've been used to this. Yeah. Now, I was looking at the subs. I was looking at the subs, you know, when the team came up. And the subs, out of the 9 subs, there were 6 kids. One of them was only 16. Now, I looked and I went, hang on a minute. How many? There's 9 bloody players out. 9 injured. You know, and that goes to Bajcetic as well, down to him. You know, you think to yourself, hang on a minute. You know, 6 kids out of 9 subs. 6 kids, because he couldn't. Gomez is out, injured. And they're saying, like, Konaté will be back, you know, after the international break.
What's happened to Gomez?
I don't know yet. Apparently, Konaté got injured in the warm-up for Toulouse. Injured in the warm-up in France. So at least he got injured in France.
What do you think about Konaté? Is he injury prone?
Yeah. He hasn't gone with the French squad anyway, mate. He stayed here. But I'd rather he was fit and went with the French squad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So would I. So would I. Because we need them. We need
them in the back. Yeah, we need it. That's where we're weak in the back. We're weak in the back for.
Exactly.
In the back.
Massive injury prone too, when he plays too often.
Massive, yeah. He was very injury prone. I wanted to get rid of him about 3 or 4 seasons ago. I said, he's always injured. He's always injured, this fella, Matip. And
he needs to stay fit. At least we've got Kwanzaa as well as a fallback.
Yeah. And he's young as well. He's young. He's very agile. He's very quick.
I think he's ready. I think he's ready for the first team.
I think well, I put on someone's comment. I think it was Lee Phillips. I put it on Lee's. I wouldn't be too worried if Matip, never played because Kwanzaa. Oh, what did I say? I said if any of them are injured, because we were talking about Virgil and the other back, the likes of Matip and the likes of Gomez, playing alongside Virgil. I said I wouldn't be too worried if Kwanzaa played there. I think
he needs his chance now. I'd put him in.
Yeah.
He's never let us down. He looks a good player. Special player.
I'll say David Shakespeare says, and we will get our 3 points against City and we'll be one step closer to the Premier League 16. I hope Jurgen keeps more quiet about this early kickoff. Yes, it's rubbish, but the more he goes on, the City camp will think he isn't up for it, says Brian Edley. Brian would say something.
It is what it is.
It is, yeah, it is what it is. Davids, we will have to beat City if the ref and VAR to get anything out of the game.
That's right. That's right.
Before I go on, listen, people, just press the like, will you please? I know you might have pressed it last week or the other, whatever. Just press it again and get this algorithm out there for me, please. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, even if you don't like the show, even if you don't like George. I'm only kidding.
Keep smiling.
Just subscribe and get it up there for us, please. I want 1,000. I want 1,000 subs, and I'm halfway there. Just over the halfway point. It'll be great if we could get that very soon. I've got to give a message to Lee. We're starting that TV. We're starting that movie thing. I hate saying movie. The film thing.
Yeah.
On Saturday.
Okay, yeah. That'd be brilliant,
This
Saturday?
The only thing, I've got another podcast on Thursday, as you know. So I'll be giving out the exact time that I'll be starting it, because we haven't decided what time yet. But anyway, it's all sorted for Saturday, if you don't mind. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, brilliant, yeah. Look forward to that.
Great. I think that'll please them. To be honest, you can't wait for it.
I was just watching a film before, USS Indianapolis.
Is that with Nick Cage?
You know, the Indianapolis that took the Hiroshima bomb.
Atom bomb, yeah.
Yeah, and went down.
I know what
yeah, like in Jaws, like Robert Shaw says in Jaws, and all the sharks have them off. Yeah. I watched that before. Nicolas Cage. The only other actor I knew was Tom Sizemore, but it was all right. It wasn't bad.
No, I've actually seen that, to be honest. Just let me fix this thing here. I know that he's...
Where's he gone?
It wasn't a bad film. That I'd never heard of it, but it was on Turner Classic Movies. It was only made in 2016, George, but it was it wasn't bad. And they tried to blame the captain, for all the men that got killed by sharks and that, like saying he didn't send out the distress signal, but it wasn't his fault. They just tried to blame him. They were looking for someone to blame and chose him.
What was that war film with Tom Hanks in it?
Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah, that was a great film.
Yeah, it was a good one.
That film. That was a great film. And One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I like that one as well with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. Milos Forman directed that, yeah. Yeah, that's one of my favourites, that.
I tend to watch my films on Netflix. I don't go to the movies very much.
No, I haven't been to the pictures in years, George.
No. In the old days, the pictures were mobbed. They were packed, and you could see the smoke going through the lines of the cameras. It was packed, because there were no television when
Do
we
you
were
remember
kids.
queuing round the block for some films?
Yeah.
Round the block.
Saturday morning matinees.
Yeah.
You won't remember that, Lee. Frank might.
Well, what was that? I'm sorry, I missed it.
They
The
survived.
Saturday morning matinees.
Yeah,
the
they
cinema.
survived a little bit.
Oh, the Saturday matinees.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to go to Gaiety and Scotland Road.
Yeah, cinemas were packed, weren't they? The cinemas were packed.
Yeah, it was fantastic because we used to come running out, smacking our bums, thinking that we were Johnny
the movie stars were big stars,
Apollon Cassidy.
Yeah.
Did you have things like Rocket Man? Do you remember that Rocket Man? It was like was that out in them days?
Tanzania. They were all and Ming was the baddie.
Yeah.
Was he having a name like Ming?
Yeah.
Listen, lads, we've got to get back to this.
Yeah, talking about westerns.
Come on with us, George. Be all right, Saturday, if you're doing that. If it's raining out, come on with us. Yeah. In your day, George, they didn't have as many sports scientists. Shankly would say, "Stop messing about on the floor." Tell him what he said to Paisley about Chris Lawler, who never missed about 450 games.
Oh, I think in 7 seasons. He missed 2 games in 7 seasons, and he went over on his ankle. And he was coming out of the treatment room with, I think it was Bobby Graham, had his arm around his shoulder, and he was limping a bit. And Shankly looked at him up the passage, and he seen him, and he said to Bob Pearce, he said, "There's that bloody Malinga Lola." Ruben Bennett was the best. Ruben Bennett was the best about injuries. He said when he played in Scotland, he played on ash pitches. And it said, and when you get injured, you didn't stay down long. He says, because a trainer came on with a wire brush. You brush the scabs off your leg.
Wasn't
and then a magic sponge to clean you.
Wasn't Ruben Bennett like your drill instructor in the army?
Ben was. He was a sergeant major. Yeah. Fantastic man. Fantastic. He used to walk up and down Anfield Road in his shirt sleeves in December. And we used to say to him, "You're not cold, Ben. You're not cold, Ruben." "Cold? I'm from Aberdeen. It's tropical, son."
That bird says, some people forget to hit the thumbs up. Don't be one of them. It makes sense. Just like it, because there's a lot of people out there for me, not for me, but for the pod and our great guests here. So I think the City game will reveal Liverpool's intention, says Brian McMahon, this year, and that it is not to be considered a runner-up. The Reds will shock the TV world soon, and it's been coming. What do you think of that? Lee, I'll go straight to you. That comment.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling that we're going to put in a great performance. We're going to pull a great performance out at 12:30 at the Etihad. But I'm just wondering if VAR and the ref or just bad luck will mean that we only get a draw when we deserve a win. I feel like we'll probably have a performance where we deserve a win, but we might just get stung at the end. Or we might get stung halfway through by a bad decision, but I think we could possibly be winning that one and then end up being drawn level at the end. I've got a feeling it might go like that.
Okay. What about you, George? With that comment, Brian?
We're only a point behind them, and we've only lost 1 game. They've lost 2. They're missing some key players like De Bruyne and others have caused us problems in the past. And they're not playing as well, I don't think, as when they were at their peak. Chelsea banged 4 past them. which is tells you something. You can't score against them. We'll have to be very tight. We'll have to be very careful not to make mistakes. Defense will have to be sharp because, let's be honest, they're a good team. They can cut you open if you're not careful. We need to depend on our fast guys up front like Nunes and Mo and others to maybe go on the break, because I think they will have possession over us a little bit, maybe at home. So we can, like we've done it in the past, if we can snatch the ball and get away in the break, we can score. So I'm optimistic. I mean, I'm not over optimistic because I'm nervous about it, because it's the big game, isn't it? That's the team we have to match and beat if we're going to win the league. But at the moment, we're heading towards Christmas and we're a point off the top, so nothing to be sad about.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's what I was going to say, because if we get a result there, whether it's a point, whether it's a draw, without being defeated, put it that way, we get a result, we'll be going into Christmas and we'll be up there.
Yeah.
And it'll be other teams who will be looking at us, and it'll be pundits as well saying, Liverpool back. Because to me, Virgil van Dijk is well back to his best.
Yes.
And that gives confidence to the backs as well. And the players in front of them, by the way. I just seen them, against Brentford. And I seen when Mo scored the opening goal, I never looked at Mo. I looked at Jota. And Jota was made, he just went like that. And, he was made up. He was absolutely made up. I'm going to you, Lee. No, I'm going to you, George, because I asked. No, I'm going to Lee. Lee, and the people out there as well. What did you think of Tsimikas' performance? Don't forget that, about the midweek game against Toulouse as well. What do you think of this game?
Well, with him getting 2 assists, I won't be too harsh on him, but he was a bit lax defensively in a couple of situations again. But yeah, that's what we've got until Robertson comes back. I think the more games that Tsimikas plays on the run, on the bounce, same with Enzo, that we'll see better form from them. We won't see as many mistakes from either of them once they've had a few games on them. In fact, it's a shame for Enzo that first real full game he plays against Brentford, but he wasn't took off. It's a shame that it was before the international break and that he didn't have another game 3 days later and then another league game 3 days after that. Do you know what I mean? To get 3 on in a row quickly, like Enzo. Do you reckon?
Okay, well, we'll talk about him a bit later on, if you don't mind. What about you, George, and Tsimikas' overall?
Well, yeah, one thing you can't afford to do on next game against City is make a mistake. You can't lose possession. You can't sort of misplace a pass. So as long as he's keeping it tight and he's good on the attack, his crossing is excellent, as good, if not better, than Robertson. And he laid on 2 goals at the weekend, let's not forget. But, as Lee said, he'll be the man. We can't do much about it. He'll be left back, so he'll have to be up for it, as they all will. They'll all have to be up for it. They'll have to play at their best. I mean, if they don't play at their best, they ain't going to win. So they've got to be up for it. Every man's got to be playing the part, I think, and Tsimikas is to play his part like everybody else.
And I think he crosses the ball brilliantly.
He does, Tsimikas. Yeah.
I think he crosses the ball brilliantly. And he can take corners that doesn't hit the first man.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it as well.
The team that makes the least mistakes wins the game.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see, I thought it was a brilliant move when Trent put the ball through for Mo, just hit it over, and he volleyed it. Mo volleyed it, just went over the bar.
Should have scored there. That was in his right foot, wasn't it?
Yeah, that would have been a fantastic goal.
Yeah.
What a ball by Trent, though. What a ball. Absolutely
brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. What do you think about when McAllister comes back? And as Lee said, about this Enzo lad, he'll automatically be dropped, won't he? And I can't wait for Curtis Jones to get back from injury.
Yeah, I'm going to say, if Curtis was fit, I would have him over McAllister.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
McAllister, I think, has been a little bit off the pace recently. He needs to sort of speed up a bit, sharpen up a bit, show what he's capable of, because he's obviously a great player, but he's not been showing it in the recent weeks, really, is he?
Yeah.
I think he needs to be benched for a couple of games, McAllister.
Yeah. I think he's lost confidence with the bloody role he's playing. He's out of position and he's got no pace. But he's a brilliant passer of a ball, you know. Through balls I'm talking about. And this is what we're missing half of the time. He can put a ball through fantastically well, you know. Brian Headley says, George, will you go up to watch the Dons in the cup final?
No. I'll be with them in my heart, but not in my body.
Well, there you go. And Neil Broderick says, terrible newspaper column, The Times today, from Rod Liddell. Yeah. In the reaction from Liverpool supporters being upset with the chants from Luton last Saturday, it's strange that he doesn't mention the Hillsborough tragedy being behind those chants, but writes it off as terrace banter. But you would expect that from him, knowing what he's written in the past and who he still writes for now.
Shocking.
Journalism.
You need to think what they're saying before they say it and write it.
No, they just want to, they know what
Little writes stuff like that for a living. That's his stock in trade, like to be contemptuous about Scousers and anyone else that he doesn't like. He's an idiot. Yeah. He's a bully and he's an idiot, I think.
Yeah.
Opinionated. Yeah.
Well, he says the same thing over and over again, like it gets tiresome.
Yeah.
Schoolboy France says, have you asked Barry Norman's lad? He's got the rights for film 2023. No. This is our little podcast. I'm worried about him. This is our podcast. And Aaron, LFC Aaron, 1970s films are great. The French Connection.
Yeah, good film, that one.
I'm the second one.
Gene Hackman. Absolutely brilliant. Mm. There's a film and it's called Under Suspicion, and he's with I'll tell you who his fellow co-star is, and it's Morgan Freeman.
Oh yeah, good actor.
Brilliant. Sorry about this, all you football fans, but blame Aaron, blame everyone. Do any of you remember the Swiss Family Robinson? Everyone's calling. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a vague memory of it from when I was really small.
Yeah, I remember it. God, blimey. I always
remember thinking it was quite phony, the Swiss Family Robinson, because they were on an island and they had way too much stuff. There would have been quite a few things they'd have been short of that they weren't short of. And I remember thinking that even as a boy, thinking, what sort of mad island is this? They've got all that.
Well, I always remember, for my class, my literature class, we read Robinson Crusoe. Mm. Do you know where half of the book was written, by the way? Have a guess where half of the book was written?
Liverpool?
Yeah, he was here.
Bloody hell. Was it?
Actually here. And he loved, do you know what he loved doing? He loved coming out of where he was lodging in Fenwick Street. And he loved looking up to the castle. He loved Liverpool Castle. Loved it. That's what he loved doing. Anyway, he wrote half of the novel, Robinson Crusoe, here. And the thing is, if you're writing
Daniel Defoe, was it, that wrote Robinson Crusoe?
What?
Was it Daniel Defoe?
Daniel Defoe, yeah, not Willem Dafoe. It's Daniel Defoe. Yeah. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But the point is, if that would be written today, it would never be published. Any idea why?
The black guy, his servants.
Yeah, because he calls him Friday.
Man Friday.
He wouldn't call
Friday,
him he wouldn't call him by his name. And so you have to ask, who's the cleverest? Because he couldn't learn his language, yet Friday learned English.
Yeah.
You see? So, literature has changed in so many ways. My independence seems to vanish in the haze. And I just thought, I should have sang that, shouldn't I? No, well, some of the, I'm sorry about this. This is a football bloody thing. But, you do get literature now where things couldn't be written. Like the Jew of Malta, for example. Fancy like that today. The merchant of Venice,
When you said Smith's Family Robinson, I'm going to say I remember Sugar Ray Robinson.
That wasn't his real name, He had a funny name, but it wasn't his real name, Sugar Ray.
No, what a fighter he was.
What a fighter.
And Randy Turpin.
Yeah, I think I've seen a few videos. There's only a bit of footage, isn't there, of Sugar Ray Robinson?
Yeah.
I mean, Sugar Ray Leonard was my era when I was a kid.
He was
Sugar
a
Ray
fantastic
Leonard,
fighter. He was
Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran. Who was the other Hispanic fella? Not Roberto Duran.
Well, Roberto Duran, for me, was the greatest pound-for-pound boxer ever.
Well, I reckon Sugar Ray Leonard was, didn't it?
There was another Hispanic one who was the same weight.
Marvin Hagler.
No,
Marvelous Marvin, yeah. Marvelous Marvin. What about Tommy Haynes? Listen, lads, we've got to talk about football. We can talk about boxing.
Tommy Smith.
Yeah, that best says the Georgian Lee film show. I like it. Oops, Frank's back. Because I lost you, And I was only moving something when I lost you, to be honest. I did Jack the Ripper last night. I did on my show. And I'm doing another murder next week, which coincides with the Ripper, by the way.
Do you ever talk about Lizzie Borden?
No,
that was a famous murder trial, wasn't it?
Yeah, the 40 wax and all that. No, I don't actually, George, because I only talk about Liverpool murders or Liverpool connections.
Oh, I thought that was Liverpool. No, maybe I'm wrong.
No, Lizzie Borden was American, Massachusetts.
Oh, was it? Oh,
yeah,
right.
Lizzie Borden. So any Liverpool connections I do talk about. The very first fella to be arrested on board ship through the very first radio message.
The Crippen?
Yes. There you go, George.
Yeah. Dr. Crippen.
Yeah, Dr. Crippen. He never done it, He didn't do it. He didn't do that murder.
He got hanged anyway, didn't he?
They hanged him, yeah. Well, in those days, if you were found guilty, they wanted you to be found guilty.
Wasn't Crippen a quack doctor? He wasn't a real doctor.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But he was just in love with this girl, and she was in love with him, and everybody was happy. Well, I think the young man was happier still, because he got for the girl afterwards. No, he didn't. Sounds good, though, doesn't it? Dirty Harry's wife is called Clean Betty. I'm feeling Stephen Snape says they saw Max von Sydow in Flash Gordon. He was minging. Yeah, he was ming. He was actually ming. Was Max von. George Scott with Matt Crowe and George McLeod and George Summers. Did you all go because all being Scottish, or was it George thing, Matt excluded?
He's talking about Port Elizabeth in South Africa. Matt Crowe was the manager. He used to play for Norwich City, and he was the man that took me to South Africa. George McLeod was already there. He played for Brentford. Then he left. I can't remember. He took off now. I can't remember the last one. And me.
I loved Kevin Lewis, you know.
Yeah, I played with Kevin in South Africa at Port Elizabeth.
Did you actually play with Kevin? Yeah.
I played with him at Liverpool and in Port Elizabeth.
Yeah,
he was in the championship. He was in the championship winning team when we won the South African championship, Kevin. Yeah. Still lives over there. Still lives in South Africa.
You know, as a kid, you know, looking, I thought he was great, him.
But he couldn't have hit the ball. He had a hell of a shot.
But you know what, George? You know he smoked, didn't you? You know he smoked. Right. And me and I was sitting in the, not sitting, standing in the paddock, you know, when the players come out. And it was the first time we ever went in the paddock, me and my little mates. And we were standing there, they're all running out. And at half time, he comes running out and he has a ciggy. He throws it away, you know, into that.
Good job, Shanks didn't see it.
But it wasn't a big thing then. It wasn't a big. I always remember that. What was his name? Socrates, who played for Brazil, and he was smoking coming out in a World Cup game. I think it was
Johan Cruyff. When Johan Cruyff was a manager, he had the fag ash dead long, didn't he? The fag ash would be dead long, hanging down. Johan Cruyff.
Barry Mason says the world's fastest Indian with Anthony Hopkins. Great film, James. Yeah, I've seen that.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's a true story, by the way. It's a true story. About a lad, you know, who could run. He wanted him to run for. I don't know whether he went to the Olympics. I'm not quite so sure. But anyway, it is a good film. Shankly would have been a great politician then. Again, maybe not. Shankly was honest and decent.
Yeah.
You're right. Uncorruptible.
Yeah. Politics, no place for Shanks.
He was the leader. He would have been a great politician. He would have been.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to a couple of football questions, lads. I'm losing all my people. Anyway, Snapey says, Samikas was perhaps positionally questionable, but like Lee alluded to, as with Endo, the more consistent their run of games, the better they'll hopefully be. Don't forget
Jones proved that, didn't he?
Yeah. Don't forget Gravenberch as well.
It's true.
And Brian Edley, I wouldn't play McAllister against City. We need to keep the ball better. So that's saying, you know, we just give the ball away quite a lot, unfortunately. I think that's lack of confidence, in my opinion. Matt gives the ball away too much, says Redbird, whereas Curtis can hold on to it when needed, and he does. I think Curtis I think he's great. I really do.
I hope he's fit for that game. Yeah.
Brian Edley, Gravenberch, number 6 against City. Oh, we'll go back to that, actually. Under suspenders, that sounds good. All right, Brian, come on. It's a football game. Well, he couldn't call him Black Wednesday, could he? Yeah, no, well, he couldn't. Anyway, Joe Louis is the greatest, and he was at Anfield once. He signed for Liverpool. You know, it was a bit of a publicity stunt, but nevertheless, Joe Louis, the world's heavyweight champion, signed for Liverpool Football Club. Walker Smith Jr., Frank, says LFC Adam. Walker Smith Jr. Randy Turpin says Neil Brother. Variety is the spice of life. 10 Rillington Place, brilliant film. That was the best film.
Christie.
Yeah, that was the best film. What's his name? The Big Lovey.
Oh yeah, Richard Attenborough.
Yeah, Tiki Darling Attenborough. That was the best film he ever made.
Yeah,
he was very sinister, wasn't he? In that.
John Hurt was good, wasn't he? John Hurt was good as Evans.
Brilliant.
Timothy Evans, yeah.
Yeah, Timothy Evans.
1953, that was.
Christie convinced him, didn't he, that it was him that had killed his own wife? Pretty much by asking him. What was it he said? He'd done what's it called? Abortion, wasn't it?
Yes,
Well, he just all he'd done is like suffocated her, hadn't he? And done whatever he done with the body.
Buried them under the floorboards.
Well, Christmas Humphreys, he was the prosecutor in the Timothy Evans case. And when he was finally exonerated, he went back to Christmas Humphreys, posthumously exonerated, that is. And even Christie admitted murdering her. Yet that Christmas Humphreys, the prosecutor, said, no, he done it. He was in with it. And that's the police trying to disprove everything, that they will never, ever admit a mistake, the police, ever.
Yeah, they thought they got it right.
Timothy Evans was found to have the IQ of a teenager, wasn't he? And he was like in his late 30s or mid 30s or something. But he had the IQ of a school kid, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
He just admitted everything. If people haven't watched Frank's Jack the Ripper show last night, go back and watch it. You won't be disappointed. It is by far the best show I've seen about the Ripper.
Did they ever find out who he was, Frank?
Yeah.
Do they know who he was?
I mentioned it last night.
Right.
I haven't watched the show yet.
He never got caught, did he? Never got caught.
I'm not going to tell you, so you'll have to watch it.
Yeah, I will do.
I'll look at it, Frank. I'll have a look at it on YouTube.
Because I go on, I forgot 2 ingredients the week before about the gunpowder plot. 3 ingredients. So I'll go on about that first. And then
you're right, Anne. You're right about Kevin there, Anne.
Yeah, the Ripper.
Sheffield United.
Thank you so much, Red Bird, mate. Thank you. Thank you. And even now, Anfield Raw says, Red Bird, I second that. Very good show, wasn't it? Isn't that lovely? Thank you so much. There we go. Istanbul, the movie, is one of the greatest out there. George, did you enjoy the football standard at Port Elizabeth? Was it similar to that of the British leagues?
Yeah, I would say it was similar to the second division at that time. You had the first division and the second division. It was a very, very good standard. You get 20, 25,000 every game. Brilliant.
You only get a few hundred in Saudi Arabia, don't they? So you get like 25,000 there in those days, like.
Well, we used to play our home games where the test matches were played, the cricket and rugby test matches, the Crusader Ground, St. George's Park in Port Elizabeth. Friday night games under the lights. Brilliant.
Yeah, I'll make a mental note of that. World's fastest Indian.
Look at that one. Seriously. Frank's show about Jack is an absolute ripper, apparently.
Yeah, that was coming, wasn't it?
It was coming. So I had to say it. And as the lads say, Georgie and Lee, watch the show. Frank has solved the Ripper case.
Will do.
There was an author who once, he was at a lecture I gave about it. And he came up to me after the show, after the lecture. And he said, can I use that? And I said, no. Because he was a columnist and he was also an author. I said, no. I said to him, please don't. I said, that's the end of everything for me. And I also explained why the Ripper will never be revealed. Never. I explained it. And George and Lee watched it there, and so the Sheffield Steelers ice hockey player has got arrested, apparently getting questions for attempted murder.
He's been charged with manslaughter.
Who is he?
He's the playing ice hockey and his skate slashed the throat of the goalman, and killed him. And they were saying, obviously, it was an accident, but now they're saying he may have done it deliberately.
And,
Can't believe it.
let's see. George, I'm looking at your Wikipedia.
Nah, don't look at that. It's not. Wikipedia is never factual.
No, do you know what? I'm glad you said
Not
that.
factual. Go on the internet and just look. Hang on, just put George Scott Bill Shankly on the internet, and you'll know all about it proper. Yeah.
You know what? I've always said this for years. Wikipedia, people live by it. I go, no, you're wrong. Because they can
got my games wrong and everything.
And they're not held accountable to anyone. So be careful what you read about them.
Yeah.
Trevor Dardish, what was his name?
Jordash.
Jordash from Brookie, did it?
It was that Irish actor, wasn't it, who played him?
Yeah, it was. Do you know where I met Anna Friel once? To drink with her, actually. And she's a big international Hollywood star now,
Yeah.
And I watched her in a film. I forget what it was called. Oh, what was it? I only watched it the other night, a new film. And it's little Anna. She's a lovely girl as well. Dead down to earth, dead nice, and good for her. When I was told Frank was doing a show on Jack the Ripper, says Anfield Road, I was expecting Frank to be in Stringfellows. But after I knew it wasn't Frank with strippers, I then sighed and settled in for the second choice. Anyone can change Wikipedia. It's a load of rubbish, says Redbeard. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. And Redbeard's laughing at what Anfield Ross said about poor Frank. Anyway, so getting back to their football, lads. Do you think it's a good thing that we're having a break? Another international break, or would you rather see Liverpool pursuing this momentum? Still pursuing the momentum that we seem to have.
Yeah, I would rather have us carry on the momentum that we've got going at the moment. I don't like these international breaks, to be honest. You just worry about players getting injured when they come back.
I think. Do you think it's greedily on the part of UEFA and FIFA and everybody else involved in these stupid, nonsensical international breaks?
Well, I think it is when it's friendlies, but of course these games are qualifiers, aren't they?
Yeah.
For the European Cup Championship.
But why crunch them all up together? If you know what I mean, with the friendlies and so.
Yeah, we've only just finished an international break, but a month ago.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Exactly. That's my point. Anyway, what do you think, Lee? Do you think that they're a waste of? I'm not talking about qualifiers or anything like that.
No, these 2-week breaks no good. Remember we were saying the other week, Frank, about how they used to have internationals in the midweek, didn't they? So what we'd have is we'd have a midweek where there was no Carabao or Europa League or Champions League, and you'd have to play an international qualifier. We'd have to play one of our Euros, but just don't do any friendlies. Don't let them play international friendlies during the season. Have them in the off season, but really during the season, it should only be qualifying games, and they should never come in a lump. It should just be one every now and then, spread throughout the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, as Redbeard's got there, it's just greed, and it's sickening because of the greed. And that's it, with all his little gifts. And funny enough, Brian Headley says, I think City not getting a chance right away to rectify Sunday's result might suit us. That's a good thing. The City game is a test, but after the international break, it will It will now make it harder. I bet you that Southgate will play Trent in both matches to exhaust them. That's mad, that, isn't it? But you know, I wouldn't put it past them either. I really wouldn't.
I hope the Dutch manager doesn't play Van Dijk in Gibraltar. Why?
No.
Why would you have to play Van Dijk in Gibraltar? I bet you he does. I bet you he does.
Yeah. He doesn't need to, does he?
No.
LFC, Adam. I'd sooner LFC win a throw-in that England's win. I'd sooner LFC win a throw-in that England win anything. I don't know what he means by that. Whether I'm reading it wrong, unless it's a predicted text thing, because I hate them predicted text. I remember putting on a text or something like that, and instead of coming out with bit, it come out with tit, and there was a female at the end of it, and she went, "You are." Predicted text. That's what I just said to her. You know, bloody laughing. I haven't texted since. Oh yeah. I don't support England. I'd sooner LFC win a throw-in than England win anything. Yeah, I could go with that. And Ledbetter says, I don't support England, I support Liverpool, end of. That's me. I support Liverpool, I don't support England. But I do support the Azori. Always supported them from a very, young kid. So, it's like me, if I wanted to support England, it's like going from Liverpool to support Scunthorpe United or something, you know what I mean? It's just not that, it's just not me to support England. And so listen, lads, you know the way have you heard when the upper stand's going to be ready?
Yeah, for the City game. It said for the City game in March.
Yeah.
That would be brilliant. 60,000 in.
Yeah, but isn't that shocking?
In March?
Yes, March.
Okay. What is that? What they said? March?
That's what they said. Yeah, March for the City game. March the 12th or something. I don't know.
But do you understand why I've called out FSG for the lack of due diligence, they must have got the cheapest of all, and I think the likes of Buckingham put in for it because they needed the money to finish off the Fulham job, but they were still having problems with it, and that's why they've gone under now. And to be honest, they should have brought in highly qualified lads to get it done. Because I've been saying on here for months, and even on my show as well, ordinary show, that I don't see any lads working at a weekend. And when we had the fine weather and everything else, lovely weekends, no one was working on the ground. Nobody. Yeah. They wouldn't allow them to work. And this is the way it's gone. March and Manchester City. It's shocking, that. That's shocking.
That's the first I've heard. I heard that they put out a statement saying the whole thing might be open for the Chelsea home game on January the 31st, I heard. Is that not true now?
No, it's been put back now again.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
It's shocking. It's a disgrace.
That was only yesterday that I heard that they put out that statement. Oh, no, it might have been the day before, possibly. It was.
Well, it changes every day, Lee. It changes every day. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's crucial that we get these lads in, by the way. It's crucial.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it's sooner.
But that's the way it is. That's the way it is, unfortunately.
Too late now.
And says, I think we're digressing from the stand here. But it's technically like the stand, you know, with painting everything else. My father, now departed, once asked a lady on the till for a tin of Durex. He meant Durex. Durex. That'd make you cringe, that one.
Tin.
You get everything on this pod. People don't know what they're missing. After witnessing the animalistic behaviour of England fans abroad combined with their derision of fellow Liverpool fans, I don't watch England. Germany is my favourite national team. Forza die Mannschaft, says Stephen Smith. Forza Italia. Forza Azzurri. That's me. That's good, though. No, Stephen Smith says, the Albanians back on subtitles. Draw your own conclusions, says Stephen Smith. Do you know, he's snidey, you know. He puts the commentary off, you know, and puts the subtitles on. And they're so funny, you know. You know, the subtitles are what we're supposed to be saying. And it comes out and he said, the fella who's doing it must be an Albanian. An Albanian interpreter. Brian McMahon says, hands up to the young players who made the bench for the Brentford game but did not play. Hope they were not saddened. Their chance will come.
Hey, McConnell came on, didn't he?
Scanlon was there, you know, a few others. I don't know the names, to be honest, but that young kid, he looked like a kid. He looked like a ball boy.
Yeah, but in 4 years' time, he might be a superstar, Frank.
No, I didn't put that. No, but that's what I'm saying, George. He looked like a little ball boy. Look at little skinny thing.
He looked so young, didn't he? He looked really young.
Yeah, very, very young. And I thought, whoa. You know, because I think that would have frightened him. I think that would have frightened him. You know, putting him on if he did go on. But does that tell you, George? Think about it, what I'm going to say. The depth of the squad.
Yeah, we've got a hell of a bigger depth this year than we had last year.
Exactly. But when you get the likes of those kids, 6 out of 9 subs, there's only Elliott, Kelleher, and Diaz who are first teamers, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then you had the others who were kids.
Can I say Jones and Gomez were recent injuries, weren't they? But we already have Besetic and Thiago.
Yeah. Thiago Batic.
Oh, Gravenberch as well. Yeah, another one. We were down to the bare bones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
most teams have been hit like that at the moment. City are, Chelsea are, quite a lot of teams.
Yeah.
It's that time of the season, I'm afraid, when people get injured.
See, when we signed our players, I was made up, you know, don't get me wrong, I was made up. I said, but we're only an injury or 2 away from disaster.
Yeah, McAllister was suspended, wasn't it?
We are now. Just imagine a couple of more being injured. Whoa, if Van Dijk gets injured. Darwin.
The international break gives us a couple of weeks to get 1 or 2 fit, maybe.
That's why I said, George, do you think it's a good thing? Because
it might be for the injuries,
players out. Yeah. And as Lee said, with Konaté, you know, withdrawing from the French national squad, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And the lads, you know, on the train saying, well, yeah, you know, I wouldn't. I always remember Jamie Redknapp. Every time he was injured, he got injured in England's international every time.
Yeah.
And he was out for yonks. And he missed the cup final through that when we beat Arsenal 2-1. Ah, Cardiff, that is. You know, he missed the final. And I always remember his dad, I think he was one of the pundits. He's saying, I'm so proud. He was holding the cup up with Robbie Fowler because he was club captain. And he said, I'm so proud of my son, you know, I'm so proud of him. But I'm so disappointed as well. So there was a juxtaposition between happiness and sadness for his son, Jamie. You know, missing the final because of a bloody injury he got with it in an international game. And I think it was a friendly, by the way, as well.
It was, yeah, I remember. It ruined his later Liverpool career. Injury.
Yeah.
It absolutely decimated it, where he hardly appeared. And then he'd have a few games, but he just wasn't the same player. So he went down to Spurs, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
And don't forget, Robertson's out till the new year, isn't he?
Mm.
So if anything happens to Tsimikas, Gomez, what we're going to do at the back?
I'm really worried during this break in case we pick up any injuries because we just can't afford it.
No, we can't afford it now. No, of course.
Need our strongest team against City.
Yeah.
And as Ant says, Liverpool is my country and football is my language. How about that? It's a cracker, that.
Do you know what? I used to like the international football when I was a kid, but I'm too old now. I've only got time for Liverpool. Apart from Liverpool, if I'm not talking about Liverpool or typing about Liverpool, then I haven't got time to watch other teams anymore. I'm 50 now, so my leisure time is more precious, you know what I mean? You want your time to watch a film, read a book, whatever. When you're in your 20s, you've got all the time in the world, so you could spend a month doing nothing but watching football and it wouldn't bother you. But now when you're older, you just haven't got that time to spare, have you? You've got other things
you used to have the home internationals at the start of the season or the end of the season. Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales, they were great, you know, years ago. And everybody looked forward to that, you know.
You know,
I know what it's like to be an Evertonian because I support Scotland.
Yeah, but you know, they were just great. You know, the international, you know, the old teams,
very competitive as well.
Yeah, very
Everybody wanted to beat England.
Yeah, I always remember the crossbar at Wembley. All the jocks jumping on the ground, just collapsed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Scottish lads.
Jim Baxter juggling the ball on his left foot. Yeah.
Jim Baxter.
Taking the Mickey.
What a player. Rangers and Sunderland's, wasn't he?
And Jimmy Johnson.
What a player. I would have loved him to have come to Liverpool, Jim Baxter. He was fantastic. Number 6, wasn't he? Big number 6.
Yeah.
Were you happy to see Sterling score for Chelsea versus City, says Brian McNaught? I think everyone was.
Yeah.
Who scored against them?
Happy to see anybody score against City.
It's great that they've let him fall before they play us anyway. Let's hope it lingers in their minds before the kickoff.
And Redburn says, my favourite national team is Liverpool. First and second teams. Liverpool kids team. Liverpool, I am biased. Hell, am I biased? Hell yes. Hell yes. And Stephen there says, our injury list is extensive when you analyse it. Midfield is actually quite threatening. And there you have it. There you have it. Lads, it can't be a coincidence. It must be the training and recovery coaches. How many years in a row is this? And he's spot on, Brian Edley.
Yeah.
He's spot on.
Right.
And it's gone on and on and on. You know, someone's on. I'll never forget that shit. I think this will go in the annals of, you know, the Liverpool history, football club history, when that year we had everyone out. And I mean, when Virgil got clattered by that.
Yeah.
You know, and he was out for the full season. Gomez was out. He had no one. We had to bring in a lad named Kabak. But I blame the owners because the owners wouldn't give the money to buy.
And Reece
And
Williams,
we
and
desperate. We were desperate.
Nat Phillips.
Yeah. You know, Quebec and Nat Phillips. Just not good enough. Albeit that Nat Phillips gave everything he had.
He did. He never let us down.
But, you know, we needed that certain level. And it was Jordan Henderson playing centre-back, if you remember.
Did. Yeah, Fabinho.
Fabinho. 2 centre-backs. And that's how he was struggling, you know, juggling around.
We still qualified for the European Cup, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Finished above Chelsea.
Thanks to Ali's goal with a header.
Oh, what a goal.
That was amazing, wasn't it? That goal. West Brom.
I don't think I'd ever seen a keeper score before in the Premier League.
Yeah, not many.
I think there's only one player to do that, and it wasn't in the Premier League. It was in another. I think it was
Carlyle. Carlyle.
Different era.
Yeah, and it was abroad somewhere. Goalie scored, but no one's ever scored in the Premiership. Nobody. I mean, you know, the goalkeeper. The passion I have for Liverpool cannot be apportioned to anything else. Sure, seeing the English lose gives me an almost perverse gratification, but Liverpool Football Club's being a constant, has been a constant in my life since 1971, says Stephen Snape.
Brilliant.
Who is in favour of FSG selling to the rich Arabs?
I wouldn't say no. I mean, look, if the FA aren't going to charge Man City, then how are we going to compete? We might as well be owned by the same. The thing is, we wouldn't have to cheat the way City did, though, because we've got a massive fan base, and so have Man United. Man City never did. So they had to have all these fake sponsors and that, didn't they?
Yeah.
But, you know, we need somebody to look at the team and to invest in it every season, not just one season, every 4 years or whatever. He invested in the midfield after 4 years, after 4 solid years. And that's how we just missed out on the quadruple. And last season we missed out on the Champions League because of the lack of investment, and no one can see beyond that. I can see that. And that's the sad thing. That's the sad indictment about the owners. And if they showed more awareness and vision about the football team, you know, I think we'd be in a better place instead of worrying who's good. You know, we're worried now. We've got international break coming up in case any of our players get injured and come back crocked. And where are we going to go from there? I just mentioned all those kids. They wouldn't last 2 minutes. I'm not saying they wouldn't, but they wouldn't last 2 minutes. What I've seen of them, if you know what I mean. To go into full-blown Premier League games, to trying to keep up that level that we are at now, as you said, George, a point behind the leaders City, because they know that Liverpool are a great side, but we've got to have all the players fit to maintain that challenge.
Yeah, don't forget we've still got to play all these big teams at Anfield. We've played them all away from home now. Once we've played City away from home, they'll have to come to Anfield in March. They won't like that. And I think we'll beat them there anyway. We always usually do. Stephen
Snape says, Alisson's header produced a look of despair on Allardyce's face that would rival that of the dog in its so priceless. And all Headley say, Brian Headley says, it was Jimmy Glass for Carlyle Carlisle United.
That's right. He's right. That's what I said before. Carlyle. Seen that.
And Eddie Cotton, George is right. Where's Marius? Why isn't he on?
That's Jimmy Glass, yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, he just says, hello, great lads. Just finished off work and I'm on my way home. Don't have enough MB data on my phone to join now. Thank you for understanding. Miss you all. You never walk alone. That's our Marius for you. That's our great
He's just broke his record in his marathon. He's got his personal best in the marathon.
And Eddie Cotton, hello Eddie, I've seen you before, I'm not quite so sure. He says George is right, Carlisle's goalie Jimmy Glass came up for a corner in the last seconds and scored to save the club from relegation.
That's right.
FSG will go when Jürgen goes, says Brian Edley. And Brian Max says, I agree, Frank, the trophies will pile in if we have financial investment rather than a sporting capitalistic lot out for their gain. Thank you. I'm made up with that. Made up with that comment. Made up. Brian. Honoured man that Allardyce in love with Fergie, he is. Yeah. There's JK. Bless. At Frank, at Lee, at George. Hope you're all well, bros. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, JK. I said a few weeks back that Jota, Darwin and Salah are our best three. You certainly did. I remember that. You did. And they are. They've been proven.
I think they have the best blend, don't they? Them three have the best blend because Diaz, he brings something different to Jota. Jota complements Salah and Núñez, I think. And that is a good balanced three.
And yet, Darwin and Salah complement each other also.
Mm-hmm. And whichever one's not playing can come on.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got four there, haven't you? You can pick any three.
Brian Edley says, I played on Carlisle's pitch a few times. Great wee stadium.
It is.
I went there. I went up to Carlisle for
Brunton Park.
Brunton Park. Tiny little place, though. It was tiny. It was mad. It was a little pitch as well. I tell you, the worst grounds I ever went to, and I must have been about 13 or 14. 13, I went on a coach and we went up to Gig Lane, Bury. Shocking. It was shocking. And we were walking to the ground and there was, you remember cinders that you had from, fires, coal fires, cinders. And we walked across cinders to get into the ground. And when we went into the ground, full of cinders again. Couldn't get away from the cinders. It was shocking. And it was raining that night as well. I never ever went back to Gig Lane. And I always remember, this is so funny, this. I always remember we were playing Preston. And I shouldn't laugh really, but it's true. And we couldn't get in. Some of the lads couldn't get in, and these big doors, and they were pushing them. They were pushing them open. He said, "It's opening. The door's open." And all of a sudden, it was a big rush. About 20 fans pushed in. And the fella got nicked. He was saying, "The door's open. The door's open," and then he fell on the floor.
Is this Gig Lane, Bury?
No, it was up at Preston. This was Preston. And there was only a few in. They were, it was so funny though, the fella lying. And he got nicked. The coppers gone, come on, you. I shouldn't laugh really. Anyway, Jota celebrated our first goal like he scored it.
Yeah, you said that before, yeah.
I said that, JK, when the show opened, because you see, I get in. And it goes like, get in, as much as I say, get in. Frank Carlyle was in Carlisle season, yes. And loads of people still spell my name like that, I say that's not my name. That's not my name. The time for us to claim the Moralai grounds over Saudi ownership has expired. We're swimming in the shark-infested waters, and we need the tea to survive again. Lee's bang on, our fan base dwarfs Man City.
So we wouldn't have to cheat. We could get that oil money and bring it in, and we'd have more chance, but we wouldn't have to cheat as bad, the way Man City did, because they just had to make stuff up, didn't they? They had to make sponsors up. They just didn't have a massive fan base. They're a small club, giving a lot of money. I mean, even Newcastle have a bigger fan base in England, don't they? Just from Newcastle to City.
Yeah.
Sure. Eddie Cotton says, hello, Frank. I'm new to your channel and enjoying the chat from you guys. Isn't that lovely?
Welcome, Eddie.
Because I've never, first time I've seen the name. Do you know what? Before I come on the pod, I don't know why I bought them. These like little bars of oats and, you'd have them for your breakfast, to be honest, in case you're not having a breakfast. But to get little bits, all around, and I keep coming on my tongue. I've got an oaty tongue. But I see that, when we come back to, the league and what, the next game against Manchester City. And if we're all fit, now don't forget, if we're all fit, who would your back four be? Would you bring in Cornette, or would you still play Matip?
I think I'd play Matip.
Lots of people are saying that now, by the way. What's you?
He's fit at the moment, and he's playing quite well.
He is playing quite well. He is. But he's got a trippy bit head. Have you noticed?
Van Dijk, yeah.
He's got a trippy bit head. Every time he goes for a corner, he heads it. And he has free headers because he's that tall.
He has.
And they go over the bar. Or they go wide.
Yeah.
He's got a head shaped like a trippy bit. That's in my opinion. Or a 50-pence coin.
Yeah.
Because I've said that to someone ages ago. And they said, what's a trippy bit? Young fella. So, I wasn't going to explain what a trippy bit was.
There's a lad played for Man United called David Hurd. And Shankly said he got a head like a sheriff's badge.
Wasn't that saved by their goalie, Brentford's goalie from Virgil? That was a fantastic save, that. That was Alisson Eck. Really. That was fantastic.
What was his name, that Brentford goalie?
It was German.
Can't remember.
I think it was called Schweinhut or something like that. Schweinschnitzel, something like that. Anyway, Brian McMahon says, looking forward to the Legends game versus Ajax Legends next March. As always, I'll be there because it's the only ticket I'll ever get. And it's true, lots of
true, isn't it? Yeah, and the kids, yeah.
It's true. That's why I said about those bloody Luton supporters chanting, and that that fella coming out with that, the column about Liverpool, and it's only banter. I go mad,
Not banter.
I really go mad. It's not banter. And
Hey,
that's why I
Frank.
said band them. And there are fans, the likes of Brian McMahon, get the ticket, buy the ticket, and sit in their end where they're supposed to be. Just band them.
Yeah.
It really gets up my nose.
Hey, Frank, I saw Rod Liddle on telly with Derek Hatton on Come Dine With Me, and Rod Liddle was trying to bully him, but Derek Hatton was just like, telling him where to go. He's going, I'm not letting you bully me, Liddle, and all that. I don't really like Derek Hatton. I mean, the man's a blue for a start, and I think he was pretty he just wasn't the greatest thing ever anyway.
Celtic, and I will put him in the City game. Yeah, I seen it myself, but it was on the telly, I wouldn't go to it. And he's so slim. It's even put Steven Gerrard, the way he is now, absolutely fantastic. And Mark says, Mark Simon, George is on fire tonight. You're smoking there, George? You're on fire. George is smoking.
I'll tell you what, we'll have to watch this lad. What's his name? Doak, this. Not our, the guy in Man City, the little guy. Yeah. They've just signed him. He laid on 4 goals in the last home game. Trent will have to watch him. Plays on the left wing for them. Yeah,
that's who they'll play. He won't play Grealish up against Trent. He'll play Doku.
And he's quick.
Mm-hmm.
Trent, Matip, Virgil, and Tsimikas Gomez. Maybe at left back. So that's who Stevens going with. Tsimikas or Gomez at left back. Put a solid midfield in front of them, and our front three's creativity will cause problems for Pep's prima donnas. Good shout. Good shout.
Herringer,
the Brentford keeper was his name. Herringer. I thought having Enzo as a 6 actually gave us a bit of zap in the midfield versus Brentford. He knows how to foul when he needs to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we can't afford to send it off against City.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'd like to see him play against City, and even just as an outside option is don't play Trent, use Gomez at right back against Doku, and see how we did, playing it a bit more solidly like that. I know we've missed Trent creatively, but I think we could score a goal or two anyway, even with Gomez playing at right back, and I think we'd be
lovely people.
Here, Mac has 7 yellows this season.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And don't forget, he's been sent off as well. Albeit, it was rescinded.
That's poor, that.
Let's pray that Mr. Paul Tierney isn't anywhere near the game, VAR or anything, says Brian Leslie. Can't have him refereeing the game again. Not us anyway. The City keeper, I love it when Emerson plays against. His name is Edison, isn't it?
Yeah.
Edison against us, as he always messes up big time. I hope he is on the team sheet. Salah will love it. Salah will love it. And that's the point, isn't it? That's the point, because we have forwards. You look, and it's the forwards who score the goals.
Yeah.
What did you think of Mo Salah's header? What did you think of that, George?
That's a great header. I like the way he didn't just head it. He moved his head and gave it a proper nod into the perfect position. And he didn't celebrate, because of VAR.
Yeah.
Because of VAR, he thought that ball might have been out, and he waited for, just to be sure. It's just what's happening with VAR every time. You score a goal, and you don't celebrate. Or if you do, you look into the line, and, that goal that was disallowed it was offside, first one, Nunes, but it was only a toe.
But doesn't that prove about Mo Salah? If he sees the whites of the goal, if he sees it, he'll have a go. And he put it in such a fine space as well.
Yeah.
It was such a fine space because the goalie was coming across that stupid defender, you know, and he just went biff. And it didn't have flying.
Yeah.
It flew in right in the corner. Get it.
Yeah, he doesn't score many headers, does he? You know, to be fair.
No. I'll tell you what, he scores one. Do you ever remember the one? I forget who it was against. The ball was hit up, and he was like running backwards, and he flicked it over his head into the cop. It was. I forget who it was against. It was a cracking goal.
Yeah. The
goalkeeper, I just had no chance. It just flew over the goalie. You know what? That's what kind of it. As Redbird says, VAR is killing the passion in the game.
It is. Definitely.
Because we mentioned it before, George, haven't we? We cannot celebrate a goal. The only goal that we could celebrate, really, was Mo's and Mo's first. Hang on. Jota's first. The two, goals by Jota and Mo's first. They were the only goals that could be celebrated. Because even when Nunes I think it was his second, where he was just offside. But the overhead kick, I knew he was offside. I just knew he was offside, which was a shame. Because two great goals by him, because he was in the right place at the right time for them.
Yeah.
Nunes. That's what you've got to look at. That's what you've got to look at. And Nunes is, I'm not calling him Mr. Chaotic or whatever, but he's so quick and he's getting better. And Jota's getting better. They're feeding off each other. That ball by Nunes into the path of Mo Salah was extraordinary, because he had to do it so quick. He had to turn and just put it through to it. Fantastic ball. Bang, goal. That's how quick it is. And that's how quick Mane and Fabinho and Salah were. But now, these are very, very quick. These lads as well. Learning to be that much quicker.
I'll tell you what I think Salah's special. He scores goals in the big games. Do you remember that one when Alisson kicked a long clearance against Man United? And he took it and he ran the whole length of the United half, held off the defender, slotted it in the corner.
Yeah.
And the other one when he cut in, I think it was against Chelsea, he cut in from the right wing and he hit about 30-yard shot right under the bar. That was
he did with his left. Well, them two
camera was right behind it.
Well, those two goals were on today. See, the comparison, like scoring that goal against Man United where he took the ball and he ran, right? They're very similar goal because they said, Mo Salah and Mo Salah again, the two very similar goals. And that the other one, exactly the same. Well, there was three really. You had against Arsenal when the ball came out and he was in our half and he just turned the lad tried to, and he was away and he scored against
That was in his first season, wasn't it? The beginning of his first season.
And the other one was against Everton. When Coleman, lost the ball, and he's away with it, and he's just and Coleman was after him, and he got like that lads at Manchester United, he was after him, and he couldn't have done that lad, but Mo was quicker, and he just put it in the corner. Fantastic! I'd love you to get that on YouTube. I only got it today, I was seeing. I said, "Oh, I'll have a look at this."
That game against Man United when we beat them 7-0 at Anfield. And he turned Martinez inside out on the right wing.
Yeah. And he was on the deck, wasn't he, that lad? On the deck.
Yeah.
Hang on, what is VAR has taken away this is JK Kismet. He says VAR has taken away the player's buzz when he scores. slowly the anti-VAR people are coming out, and about time too. We only need goal line technology, and I've said that myself.
I've always said that, yeah.
You only need that. We don't need offsides and all this bloody nonsense.
You've got 2 linesmen there.
Exactly. And you might as well not have them.
Yeah.
What's your reaction to our response to the referee Tierney last week when the cop said, Tierney, you are a bad referee, says Brian McMahon. It's just the way the passion is. It's nothing like sinister. No. It's the passion, and these fans know exactly what's been going on with this Tierney. They know exactly.
If I'm honest, I saw Tierney's face most of the match when they were singing that quite a lot, and he looked pretty pleased with himself, didn't he? He looked like he enjoyed it. He enjoyed getting the name check off the crowd. He was like,
yeah, that's right. Like little snakes. Like little snake. Because he was being recognised. It's as simple as that. Oh, look at me in the headlines here, with the cop. The only goal you can score without worry of VAR is a penalty, says Redbird. It's true.
That's right. The second one, it took a while to celebrate Mo's header, didn't it? Because of
that's what I said before. He wasn't sure.
And JK says, Trent Darwin Salah goal, the passing for our first versus Brentford was fire.
Brilliant.
And Brian says, remember Mo scoring at home against Watford in the snow on his backside? Remember Mo scoring at home against Watford in the snow and left them all on the backside? Yes, that was on. The Watford one and the Manchester City one. But he did more or less the same against Spurs, remember?
Yeah.
Incredible. This is what I mean about our lads, Mo Salah. He's an incredible player. Oh, he's an all-rounder.
Yeah.
He's an all-rounder. The fact that Darwin's in a position to score as consistently as he is augurs well going forward once he starts keeping his head and becomes clinical in his numbers with rise exponential.
Yeah. I love him.
Back to the chili corner with it. I think the offside rule should change if it's so close to give the attacker the benefit. And that Nunes' first goal in the linesman. Hang on, that Nunes' first goal, the linesman put his flag up straight away. Yeah.
They always look to be looking for a reason to disallow the goal.
A reason, yeah.
Like Diaz's goal at Spurs that wasn't given. That
was a disgrace.
He flagged offside straight away, didn't he? Because usually they let it go for a while, but he didn't even let it go. He just went, no, that's off. And it turns out it bloody wasn't.
Exponentially, yes. Thanks, Stephen. Your mad little words.
Yeah, the only people didn't see that was the guy in the VR box.
Stephen Snape again. Tierney's impartiality needs scrutinising. His decision makes it at best spurious and at worst corrupt.
No, he's the opposite. He's the opposite of impartial. He's partial. He's very, very partial.
Be interested to see who referees the City game.
What star signs are you fellas? Says JK.
Taurus.
I'm Scorpio.
I'm Taurus as well.
Nice one. Are you May or April, Frank?
I'm May.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
May.
So is me dad, me dad and me granddad, me dad's dad, all our birthdays are within a week of each other in May.
Really?
My dad, his dad and me.
Well, that Francine, she's in May as well. She's in May. There was our Tony, he was on the 4th. I was on the 11th. Our Stevie's was on the 18th. You know, same day, different week.
Yeah.
Same day, different week. Thanks again, lads, says Brian Edley. Pleasure to share the screen with you. Thursday will be my last for at least 3 weeks. I'm off to the jungle. Stay safe, lads. God bless you. You never walk alone. Cracker Brian, isn't it?
Yes.
Also, Haaland pulled the Chelsea's defender's shirt down and then went forwards, but still got the pen.
Yeah.
Jake, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, that's right. He did, yeah.
That was wrong, that was shocking, that decision.
Golden round.
It's 12:30 a fair knockout time on a Saturday after the qualifiers, says Brian McMahon. No, it's not.
No.
It's Liverpool have been, playing them more times that will double the time than anybody else. And it's shocking, more than double.
Not fair. Not fair at all, is it? Not fair.
But it's the South American players, isn't it? They're coming from very far away and they play later than everybody because their time's different down there.
Yeah, we don't need to play at 12:30.
City, you've got one South American player, I think, Alvarez. They haven't got any others, have they?
Yeah.
I can't think of one.
Diaz.
JK says, Taurus and Scorpio get on with Virgos, which I am. Yeah, so we're all getting on with each other.
Excellent.
Aries, me, clumsily ramming it down people's throats since time immemorial, says Snapey.
Well, you're just before us, Snapey. Aries is just before Taurus in the cyclical thing, you know.
And look at that, 2 bulls and a stinger, says Redbird. 2 bulls and a stinger. And I'm a Virgo, says Anne. Thank you, Anne.
Good to know.
And bless Anne and Virgo, says JK. Listen, lads, don't forget, I've got to go to this last one. I'm sorry, down Miranda, this show. VAR seems to be taking up too much notice of where your body parts are rather than where your feet are. This game is football where you rely on your feet and head to score goals, nothing less, says Arthur Schofield. And that's a cracker.
Yeah.
That's a cracker. That's a cracking comment. It really is. But the comments of the night is, I'm a Virgo.
Yeah. Number one, that.
I'm a Virgo. No one comment. XP honestly as well. That's Snapey's. That comes second. What's he like?
I didn't know what the star sign characteristics were a long time ago when my nan was still alive, because one of my nans anyway liked horoscopes, and all I remember about Taurus is that was stubborn. And I know that's true of me. I can be very stubborn.
Well, that's, you call me stubborn. You say that I'm stubborn and I'm a Taurus, as you know.
Stubbornness isn't a bad characteristic at all, as long as you put it in the right places, and don't put it in the wrong places. You're not stubborn about things you shouldn't be.
But I do, unfortunately. Get leathered. And Brian McMahon says, I'm a Gemini and I feel like a space shuttle.
Don't know whether you're coming or going.
Exactly. Stephen Snape, nice couple of hours. Good to see you all. See you Thursday. Take care. You'll never walk alone, says Stephen Snape. George, what are you doing Thursday? Are you going out again on the Raz and, with all your mates again?
No, I don't think I am, Frank. No, I think I'm okay Thursday.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, I think I'm okay Thursday, yeah.
Can you get all to marry us for us and say if he'd come on?
Yeah, I'll give him a message.
Thank you. And the link will be sent out anyway. And they.
Yeah, sound, yeah, brilliant.
But you've got to come on because I've got to tell you on Thursday on the pod what time for the TV and film pod. Is that okay?
Sound, yeah, sound.
And it's just for me to say a big thank you to you lot out there. You're all brilliant, honest to God. You're all brilliant. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for giving Jack the Ripper a plug. Jack the Ripper. Thank you so much. And also, obviously, to the last Shankly boy there, the great George Scott. And obviously to the vase of flowers. And I'll see you Thursday, boys.
Yeah, nice to see you, Frank. Thanks for the show. Enjoyed it. Nice to see you, Lee.
Thank you so much. Thanks, lads. See you soon.
God bless. Good night.
Good night.